Welcome back to Stranger Things Has Happened.
Yes, the podcast.
This is a podcast that we made because the show Stranger Things has happened, but Dan wasn't there for it.
No, I missed the whole thing.
And friends don't let friends miss really
Stranger
great things like Stranger Things.
Yes. So now we started this podcast and we are on Chapter 5.
Chapter 5, The Flea and the Acrobat.
Correct.
Stranger Things has happened.
Okay, I would like to know,
when
you read the title of Chapter 5, The Flea and the Acrobat, what went on in your mind?
Okay, so, I mean, if anyone's been following the podcast, they know that I love 11. So I was like, this obviously has to do with 11.
Yeah.
And so I just was like trying to think of ways in which 11 fits either of those things.
Yes. Is she the flea? Is she the acrobat?
Yeah.
What's going on?
And then I was like, oh, maybe she's like the flea fly on the wall. And I was like, well, why wouldn't they call her just like the fly and the acrobat? So then I kind of was like, you know what? We're just going to let this like wash over me. And hopefully by the time we get
I'll figure it out.
Yeah. And they did a really good, easy job of telling me what exactly that meant.
Explaining what was going on with the flea and the acrobat. Yeah. It's a great title. I think it's very mysterious. Really gets you thinking.
Yeah.
What is the flea and the acrobat about? What's going on there? Because all the other titles so far have been quite like...
This is what's about to happen.
Descriptive. This is what happens in the episode.
Yeah. Chapter 5 really did feel like with the title that they want you to be thinking about it, even though it doesn't really come up until like 3/4 of the way through the episode.
Yeah, they want you kind of puzzling on that a little bit.
And it worked.
It worked. Okay, good. Do we want to try and hit the high points?
Let's hit the high points.
Quick summary. Okay.
Yeah.
We start chapter 5. Hopper sneaking around the lab. Lonnie, Will and Jonathan's dad, is back in the picture for part of this episode.
Yeah. We also start to get D&D back into the episode.
That's right. We're talking about some D&D stuff again.
Yes.
We get some theories on what this mysterious dark place is. And this episode is the first time we hear the phrase the upside down.
Correct.
And then kind of there's other stuff, obviously, which we'll get to. But
things.
The end of this episode is Jonathan and Nancy in the woods at night.
Yes, with their flashlights.
With their flashlights.
Oh, so many thoughts about that.
Okay, well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But the very last thing that happens is Nancy climbs through a tree.
Yes.
And finds herself in what we can only assume is the upside down.
Yes.
She's on the other side.
She sure is.
That is where we leave this episode.
Crazy.
Absolutely crazy. Okay.
Because if I had to take a guess about who was going to be the next person to... It wasn't her.
Okay.
Like, I don't know who it would have been, but it was not her.
And she's the first person, is this true? That goes there
by like on her own. Yeah, she doesn't get taken there. She just kind of like stumbles upon it.
Yes.
Which is really interesting.
Very.
Well, and it goes back to like my thought about portals, and they talk a lot about that in this episode,
they do.
And I was feeling so vindicated, y'all.
Yes, I was literally just listening to our episode 4.
Yes.
And I was like, he's saying it. Portals. He's like, are there portals? Where are the portals? Can people come and go? I was like, oh my gosh, Dan.
I was on it.
You
Man.
were. Way to go, buddy.
Part of me was like, maybe I should be making like guesses.
Oh, yeah.
But then I was like, I hate being wrong. I don't want to be embarrassed by being like, and then I think this will happen, and then it just doesn't.
You just have to be okay with the fact that you're going to say like 100 wrong things.
And I already have.
And that's fine. So just the more guesses, the better.
Incredible.
I think.
Yeah. Okay. So they started this episode off really interesting. I, the whole time, was like, oh my gosh, Hopper. He's already taking some pretty big steps in terms of trying to get in.
Yes. Big swings.
Big swings. Yeah. The whole time I was worried for him. Because obviously we know what he's going to find. But because he was being so bold, I was like, well, what is he going to do when he gets there?
Yeah. You're like, what is your plan?
Yeah.
Like, you're storming the castle here, but to find what? And I don't know that he really knows, other than he is calling out for Will.
Yes.
While he's walking around the lab.
Is.
So I think there's, at least on one level, he's going in there because he thinks the real Will Byers is alive and is being held in this lab.
Yes. And in looking for Will, he finds 11's bedroom. I don't know if you want to call it a bedroom, but it's like her holding place with a bed and a drawing that she made of like her and Papa in her room. And I'm just like, no, babe, he's fucking toxic.
Her little like crayon drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just has 11 and then Papa. with like little stick figures, and I'm like, holy cow. But we talked about this in a previous episode about how that dynamic that was set up between them is already so clear. I always go back to the hallway walking where he's holding her body and she's like lifeless after killing those two dudes.
Yeah. And that gives us some history too. For me, at least, it makes me think, oh, she's been here longer than maybe we originally thought.
Yes.
Because it's like the drawing is done by a very little child. Littler than 11 is now, I think.
Yes, I would agree. And also, remember last episode where I was like, wow, I'm kind of dumb because I didn't put 2 and 2 together in terms of the lab being where
Yes.
11 and this thing came from?
Yes.
Same sort of thing happens to me watching this episode, which was 11 wasn't born here. Oh, so 11 got took at some point.
Yes.
And like, where's her family? Okay.
Where is her family, Dan?
I have questions. I have so
so
many
glad.
questions. Why isn't her parents still looking for her? Or are they? And or like, did they get killed? Because again, like we heard in the first episode, people who know about her have to go bye-bye.
Yes.
Which now I'm thinking about the kids. Like they're in trouble.
Oh, no. I just watched Dan have like the scariest light bulb moment where he's like,
Yes.
oh, fuck, the kids. They all know about her.
Yeah.
What's going to happen?
Uh-oh. Okay, well.
Moving on.
Yeah,
That's a
moving on.
problem for another episode, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, Hop's being so sneaky, sneaking around this lab. He's like ducking around corners and like hiding from, and there's just people around.
Yes. Which also then made me think, not all the people at that lab know about what's happening behind like the hazmat safety.
Sure, like there might be some legit stuff happening there as well.
Yeah. It's kind of like a drug front, but
Yeah.
but for the upside down.
It's like money laundering, but
Yes.
we're laundering this alternate dimension. I don't know. Okay, well, anyways,
We're sort of like really diving into Hopper being in this place because it is so important to this episode.
yeah.
I clued in on something that kind of came back later,
Okay.
which is it's so interesting because it looks like it's connected to this like generator or like energy source. Like there's like a panel that's on the left hand side of all of these like
Wait, when he sees
spider-like
what?
arms.
Like the wall? Okay. Oh, the portal.
The portal, yeah, the
vagina
entry.
wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I wrote down like connected to a generator because it looks like it's connected to like a power source.
Yeah.
And then as we find out later in the episode, the energy source is what is creating this tear
Yeah.
in the world. And there's so many of them apparently.
Apparently. Yeah.
Let's just go a little bit back. I was telling Emma at the beginning of this too that I didn't take my notes as normally as I wanted to.
Okay. It's a little more sporadic than
Yeah.
like this happened, then this happened.
Correct.
We're writing down our thoughts as opposed to like writing the Wikipedia page for this episode.
Yeah, exactly. So you're
Love it.
hearing our thoughts as opposed to us just like recounting what happened.
Yeah. Which maybe that's helpful too. I don't know. But I think, yeah, we're developing our process here, people. So
Exactly.
thanks for being with us.
Yeah, so then the kids obviously learn about the Upside Down and the title of it being called the Upside Down because
Yes.
they are kind of going back to the D&D board. And this is something that Mike
Yep.
says, okay, well, like 11 was saying, and she flipped over this board.
He's kind of like piecing it together in real time in front of these kids.
Yeah,
the other
and so
kids.
Dustin's like, well, like, let's get out the book because obviously if it's D&D, like there has to be something. And then they come across the Veil of Shadows, which is an echo of our world, which again, I felt really vindicated because I called it.
You were like, it's that. It's
10
our
years later, I
world.
called it. But it's like the world, but darker and
More shadowy.
Yeah.
More spooky.
which
yeah.
it really is.
He says, yeah, it's a dark dimension, echo of our world, a plane out of place.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Dan's going to be so excited about this.
Hell yeah,
he
I
was
was.
right.
I was so
Alternate
right.
dimension.
Well, and they were using that language too. They were writing for people like me who are using these words because some of
Yeah.
us don't play D&D.
Yes.
And so we obviously don't know about the Veil of Shadows, but it is cool to sort of be like let in on that world
Yeah.
because some of us don't know.
Have you heard the phrase the upside down?
No.
That is absolutely wild to me. Like, it's become so synonymous with the show, I think. And so, like, iconic in the marketing, in everything to do with it. So it's
Yes.
amazing to me. I love it. I'm just delighted. But, like, yeah, it is amazing to me that you, at least if you have heard it, it didn't stick. Like, it didn't mean anything to
Correct.
you.
Yeah. It was as much of a surprise to me today as it would have been 10 years ago if I had heard it.
Yeah.
But obviously there's so much more context for me now. And so
Totally.
that's really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. So then we go back to Hopper, and he's like, he finds the kid's drawing. He goes in the elevator, and there's amazing little scene where he's doing in the elevator the same thing that the guy in the very, very first scene of the whole series is, where he's like running down this hall. He goes into this square elevator thing, and there's like guys running after him.
Yes.
So he's like, button, and then the doors close, and you're like, where's he going? What's he doing? Oh my god.
I fully was like, oh shit, he's gonna be like yanked by whatever that thing was.
Yes.
And obviously he doesn't get yanked.
Not immediately.
I was panicked. I was like, no, you don't know what happens in there.
No. But the hazmats come
Well,
get
this
him.
is after he sees the wall.
Yeah,
And
so-
he kind of like puts his hand, and I was like, dude, again, you're gonna get yanked.
Don't do that. Yeah, he's like touching the
goo.
the gooey opening of the
tree
wall.
sap, if you will. Yeah,
Oh,
and
man.
then he just gets like chloroformed.
Yeah. they like stab him in the neck with the syringe, the hazmats do. And then all of that we've just discussed is the cold open. Then the opening credits roll.
Yes. I also was like, that open?
Whoa.
They really said we're locked in.
Yes. There's like 50 million things that happen in the first, like, I don't even know how many minutes, 5-7 minutes of the
Maybe.
episode. Maybe it's 10.
Yeah.
And then the credits open. And it's like, oh, okay, the episode has started.
Skip
And-
intro.
And actually, the rest of the episode slows down quite a bit in
Yes.
pace from the last few episodes.
Yes, I was all for the details.
Yeah.
Spell it out because I'm kind of stupid sometimes.
Well, and I think we've gotten to a point where we've learned so much, and we have so much information to work with. All the characters are, dealing with their own stuff. They're putting the pieces together.
Yes.
It's like we do need a little bit of a moment to just sit with what we've learned. And I think actually the fact that they don't rush through the sort of unpacking of like the upside down and what it is.
Yes.
Because it's
Yes.
like, okay, we now suddenly have a word for what all this mystery has been up till now. And we still don't know much about it.
Right.
But we have a little more info and something to kind of like orient all of this learning to.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the scene where the kids are asking whoever that person is about.
He's their teacher.
Their
He's
teacher.
the teacher that is like the AV club
Right.
like leader. Randy Clarke.
Randy Clarke.
I don't know if we know his name is Randy Clarke. His name is Mr. Clarke.
I love that they let us be taught by him.
Yes, it's a really sweet moment.
Yeah,
He's a great character.
because currently all we really know is our world and the upside down. But the
Yes.
way that he describes it is that there's like our world, something on the side, something on the bottom, something on the
Yeah.
other side. And there's just like countless opportunities and
Yeah.
different dimensions. Because he says in the episode, there's a dimension where none of this has happened. And
Yeah.
like everything's like happy and good.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a cute moment where I think he sort of is trying to help them like cope through.
Grieve.
Like he thinks that they're asking
Yes.
because they're like escaping.
Is he going to
Like, yeah,
heaven?
exactly.
Yeah.
Like there's like sort of escapist fantasy, and he's like, yeah, like there is a world out there where none of this ever happened, and they're like, yeah, but like in this one, in this alternate dimension that does exist, how do we get there?
Yeah. Is there a possible way that like anybody can get there? Which again is interesting because Nancy answers us that
Yes.
question. And we'll get there obviously.
Okay, I don't think we have talked about this even one time, but there is a scene in like episode 1 or 2
Oh.
where Will is in his fort.
I wrote this down.
Okay.
Castle Byers. When I saw it, I was like, wait, is this real? Like, and I wrote Will's
Oh.
hideout question mark. Like, what?
Yeah, so the scene that's I think it is in the first episode. The scene that's in there is Will is in Castle Byers, which is his like little fort, like
Yeah.
his sort of hideout.
It's like a tree
in
house,
the
but not on a
backyard
tree.
kind of thing. And his mom comes in and she's like she has to give the password. There's like a cute moment where she's like
Yes.
trying to guess the password.
Yes.
And it's like some kind of D&D word that she has to say. The only significance it has is that Joyce goes there to look for Will when he sort of first goes missing.
Yes.
And she has kind of like a flashback of like hanging out in there with her kid.
Right.
And that's like the only significance the scene has. So I don't think it really like necessarily sticks in the mind. But then yes, there's this now little scene where the dog like goes and lies
It's
down
very
in Castle
passing.
Byers. Yeah,
It's
it goes by
very-
so quick.
Yeah.
But it does remind you like, oh yeah, we've been there before. Like
Well, and then it also made me start thinking every time that Will has to go hide
Yeah.
in the Upside Down, I'm like, is he going there? Because that is his hideout and there's a lock in it. So I'm like, maybe in like the D&D world that lock means something. I don't know. Again, these people are not stupid who built this show. They're like, remember this for a reason.
Yeah.
And so it's now clocked.
Okay, so now she has a little scene with him. Actually,
At the kitchen table.
yeah, when she says she's talking about Will the Wise, and he's drawing and he's coloring, and Will the Wise is his D&D character.
Right. Yes,
Yeah.
and he's throwing lettuce or cabbage, I think they said.
Yeah.
She's like, I need to get you more crayons because it looks like he's throwing cabbage.
Your fireballs are green. Yeah.
That's probably coming back at some point. I don't know how, but
Okay. Wait, which part? The green?
the green lava,
fireballs.
yeah,
The Will the Wise.
the will, the wise, all of it.
Yeah. Okay. We skipped the funeral.
Correct.
That's okay. That part doesn't really matter because we know he's not dead.
Yeah, and
So
and
it's like just sad, but it doesn't. Anyway.
I'm just like, yeah. Well, again, this is partly why I was just like, I'm just watching, and then when something really like pulls me, I'm like, because I thought
Yeah.
it was really weird that the lab took Hopper back to his house,
Yes.
and
It is very weird. You sort of see him wake up and you're like, oh, he's going to be like, where are they going to have him, basically?
yes,
Yeah.
and he's just like on his couch. His like kitchen table has like a bunch of pills and stuff, and I'm like, okay, this is a setup.
Yeah.
But then Hopper's so smart because instantly he's like, they wouldn't just take me here.
Yes, they've now been in my house.
He starts to like panic and start ripping shit apart. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm clearly being
He's like, I've been bugged.
bugged. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so has Joyce, because in this episode, we also hear Dr. Brenner's people listening to Will talk to Joyce.
Yes. He
And-
hears the kids.
Yes, and
Like,
then
and
he
the
said
radio.
she was there.
Who do you think he's talking about?
It has to be Joyce. That's the only female that was there. Or 11. Right? Because, okay, wait. Because here's the thing. While I was watching that, let's go back for a little second.
Okay.
Hopper is being
Our note-taking
monitored.
strategy is that we're a little scattered.
No.
But we're going to get to everything.
Just because everything's chaotic.
It is. Everything is chaotic.
So he is being monitored. He ends up finding this like microphone in a light.
Yes. And, okay, again, this is just so interesting.
Yes.
It's cool to me, and I'm only saying this because I don't think this turns out to be like significant in the future.
Sure.
But it is cool to me that they bugged his light bulb.
Yes. I also thought the same thing.
Yeah.
On purpose, because Will talks through the lights.
Yes.
And now he's being listened to through the lights.
Yes.
And then so after he realizes that he's been monitored, two of the stupid cop people come up and he's like, get the F out of here, essentially.
Oh, yeah, they show up at his house to be like, hey, how are you doing, buddy?
Yeah,
you
you're supposed
okay?
to be
You had a
at
real
work."
bender this weekend or whatever. And he's like, everybody leave. I have bigger problems than all of you.
Yeah, which he does. So then he goes and meets up with Joyce. Initially, she thinks that it's going to be Lonnie again.
Yes.
And she's like, get the fuck out of my place, blah, blah, blah. Opens the door and he's there and he's like, has a piece of paper that says, don't speak.
Yeah.
And he comes in and he just starts undoing all of the light bulbs, which, as we know in episode 2, she has packed the house with light bulbs.
Yeah, he shows up, he looks around her house and is like, oh my God, you have so many light bulbs.
Yes.
And we gotta unscrew every last one of them.
And they do. And he doesn't find anything.
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay, I think we're safe for now at least.
Yes.
But what was really interesting is when I first watched the scene where they hear Will and Joyce's conversation, I didn't connect it to being 11 was in the house or like 11 was the person making it happen. Initially, I was like, are the other people who are sitting in a row with Dr. Brenner people who also have that ability? Like they're trying to find Will, they're trying to find 11, and
Got
so
it.
they're hearing that sound. But now I'm realizing that Dr. Brenner is potentially way more connected to 11's brain, even when she's not around. Because, again, how is he hearing what she's hearing or hearing Will talk to Joyce?
Okay, I have thoughts about that are slightly different.
Okay.
But I don't think that this is based on, I don't think this is like spoiling because I don't think this is based on information.
Okay.
I think it's just my theory.
Oh, great.
I think when Brenner is hearing he hears Will.
Yes.
He doesn't hear 11 because she's not saying anything.
Correct.
But I think he also hears the kids, the other kids.
Oh.
And that makes me think that what he's actually listening to is either the radio that 11 is like broadcasting through, or he's listening to a bug in the school. Not necessarily that he's listening to 11's brain.
Right.
I mean, that also could be true. I don't know or remember.
Yeah. Well, because like
But I
everything
think the
is
fact
bugged.
that he's saying she was there,
Yes.
like, I think what he's reacting to is like, oh, I hear the kids.
Therefore.
And because I hear Will, that means Eleven's doing her radio thing.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Nowhere yet that I know of, and maybe you need to remind me, does Dr. Brenner meet Will, know about Will? How is he now being like, well, I know about Will and I know about the other kids? Like, this is where my brain sort of got confused, because earlier in the season, he taps a conversation that's happening with Joyce.
Yes. He knows that she has a missing
Kid.
He knows that there's a missing kid named Will Byers and where he lives because they went to his house.
They did. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Does he know that it's the Upside Down? And does he know who goes in and out of it? Because Will,
Yeah.
later on in the episode, we find about Barb's car.
Yeah.
The state, in quotations, are really like making a lot of like smoke and mirrors around the people who have gone missing.
Yes. I'm not sure. I think there are things that will help answer those questions that haven't happened yet.
Great.
At this point, based on what we know already, I don't think we know exactly what the Brenner and by extension the state, all of his goonies, know about the Upside Down. They obviously know that something exists though, because they've sent their white hazmat suit guy there and like
Yellow.
Yeah, or yellow suit, and he got eaten or whatever.
He sure did.
But Brenner knows enough about Will to orchestrate there being a fake body.
Well, this is what I'm saying. I'm like, what do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
and this is partly why I'm like,
But you're like, how would he know that? Like, how does he know what this kid looks like, or how does he know?
and why
is
is
that
it
what you're getting at?
And
Yeah.
why is it important that this gets covered up?
Sure.
Like, and I know that he obviously is like covering up the whole vagina wall thing,
Yeah.
but he obviously
yeah.
knows that Will was. He's there because
Something, yeah.
why would he? Again, it's not like it's the president.
Right.
It's being alluded that he knows that Will is there.
Yeah.
Same with Barb.
Yeah, that is a really good question. I think Brenner and co. are covering up kind of two separate things. They're covering up whatever was going on with 11.
Yes.
And like the testing and the whatever that was. And they also seem to be covering up the fact that like there is a portal that they either, like you say, know about or have created
Yes.
that is like causing trouble.
Yes.
The extent to which they know about Will and Barb
Yes.
and what is actually happening with them,
Unknown.
unknown. But I think it's important that they cover up both things, because I think if anyone gets too close to investigating Will and Barb
They're
connected to the lab,
Yeah.
then they're going to find out about the other stuff.
Right.
Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's my take on it, is that like they sort of know about the Upside Down, but also they aren't necessarily calling it that.
No, they're still
like, that's just
testing
what the
it.
kids are calling it.
Yeah, they're still testing it. They're still
Yeah.
trying to figure out, like, can we get in there? If we get in there, what happens?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm excited to sort of learn what exactly they're doing and how they're doing it.
Yeah.
Gagged.
Yes. I have a couple of things that I wrote down that are from a little earlier than this.
Yeah.
One of them is spy at school? ? Bugged, because that was where I was like, wait, how is he hearing? What is he hearing exactly, and how? Not sure about that, other than what I said before, which is that maybe the school is bugged somehow.
I have a question.
Okay.
The principal or somebody calls in a worker to come look at the system.
Yes.
And as soon as he gets in his car, I'm like, he's in on it.
Yeah.
And then later in the episode, we get like a flashback
Yeah.
to 11 being put in the bath, in quotations.
Uh-huh.
The guy who's putting the headpiece on her looks like the guy who was in the school looking at the system.
Whoa, I did not clock that. Okay.
And then I wrote, everyone's a spy. They have eyes and ears everywhere.
They do definitely have eyes and ears everywhere. And like that van, the white van
Yes.
that's like Hawkins Electric or Power or whatever, like the guys riding those things around are definitely.
Yes.
And I could be wrong about this. I think when they went to Will's house
Yes.
earlier to like investigate the shed, they were also driving those vans.
Gotcha.
Not 100% sure about that, but
If she's wrong, let us know in the
Yeah.
Instagram comments.
I'll have to go back to episode 2 or whatever. Okay, so anyways, definitely they call somebody in to like investigate the blown up radio because it like catches fire at the end of
Yes.
11, like channeling it or whatever.
Yeah.
And that guy is in on it.
100%. And again, it goes back to every phone call that gets sent anywhere has a Dr. Brenner person working.
How are they listening to all, like, are they listening to Susie and her girlfriend like chat about the ice cream that they're gonna have later? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
how are they doing this?
Well, then
How many people do they have working for them?
But again, if there are other people like 11
yeah.
who he can be like, look at this photo.
Uh-huh.
What is she saying? Then they know where she's been. And that's why anytime they're
True.
like, okay, so let's like tap this
Yes.
whatever, and you go into here and you go into there.
Yes.
Like, I'm sort of thinking the guy who was in the car is maybe like 9 or whatever.
Like the guy who went to fix the radio?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Or
Great.
like or somebody
Or something.
Somebody's working to be like, she's here, she's
Got
here,
it.
she's here, she's
Yeah,
here.
they're like following her
Yeah.
somehow. Okay.
Via photo.
Jonathan and Nancy
Mm-hmm.
have a little like heart to heart at the funeral as well.
Yeah. Their relationship does a lot during this episode.
Yes. Okay. I want to ask you about that, but I just want to touch on what they actually say, which is
Yeah.
that they're like, we're going to go find the thing. It has to be near Steve's house, I think is what they're talking about. Because Nancy's like, I went back to Steve's and that's where I saw it.
Yes.
And he's like, well, it's not traveling very far. Like, that's not very far from my house
Yeah,
or
he
whatever.
has like 3 points of access,
so he's
essentially.
like, let's just go like look around the woods.
with my gun.
Yeah, that part. Okay, so I wrote that down because it was funny. Is like, they're like, what do we do when we find it? And he's like, we kill it. And then he pulls out a gun and Nancy's like, are you kidding? Like, what are we going to do? And he's like, do you want to take another photo? When we find it, should we yell at it? Okay.
Which also kind of felt flirty.
Okay. Say more.
There's a lot of flirty energy between them throughout this.
Uh-huh.
And then they turn into like an old married couple in like a forested area where they start like yelling at each other, and like there's a lot of feeling going on.
There's a lot of feeling. Yeah, they have like a whole fight.
Yeah.
Kind of about Steve. Or
Well,
well,
yeah, and it
that's the pretext.
Yes.
It starts out being about Steve.
that's how they get in on it. Like,
Yeah.
she's like, you just don't like him because I'm dating him, and he's like, well, what if I don't like him? Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, jealous teenagers, like, just kiss already. Like, what do you want? Well, we know what they want. I think I know what they want.
But is the want reciprocal? That's a question. Because to me, it's like, well, maybe I shouldn't say too much. You have said before that you're like, Jonathan has feelings.
Yeah.
But what is the level of backseat forthsea? Hard to know.
It
Hard
is.
to say.
It is hard to say. I think that she, and I think I've said this before, is that she has a level of understanding with
Yes.
him that I
Yes.
think that they share,
Yes.
and I think that he doesn't get a whole lot of interaction with people. So there's
Yeah.
like a hot girl. She's like,
Yeah.
dating the popular dude. So he's like, wow, like blah blah blah.
Okay, one other thing happens that I wrote down when the police show up at Hop's house, which is they say they found Bus's car. They found Barb's car
Yeah.
at a bus station.
Yes.
And they're like, she must have run away from home, yada yada. And they say like, oh yeah, like the guys from State found it there. Isn't that weird? Like they keep doing our job for us.
Yes.
And Hopper again is just like, I am
Wise
not...
up, losers.
Yeah, like, come on, guys. Like,
Yeah.
the state is not good. Nothing is good about this.
Yes. For me, I was like, yeah, of course they did. Like, they're hiding everything.
Yeah.
Which again starts to be like the state
Yes.
is just Dr. Brenner and his like Goonies, or at least that's how it feels, because anything he touches,
It's all leading back to him every
Yes.
single time. It seems like
Yes.
at this point.
Big
yeah.
money in government, classic. When this podcast gets
Big-
really political.
Big energy. Doesn't want you to. Doesn't want you to trust the state. Or wait, they do want you to trust the state,
Yes,
but
true.
you shouldn't.
But you should not.
You
You
should
should
not
never
trust.
trust the state.
Yes. Mr. Clarke at the funeral, they're asking him about like alternate dimensions. We kind of touched on this before,
Yeah.
but he does this great like demonstration on the paper plate.
And this is where we learn.
This is about the flea and the acrobat.
Correct.
So now we understand, what is the title of this episode about? The
Yes.
flea and the acrobat. So he's describing our plane as like a tightrope.
Correct.
That there's an acrobat walking on. We're the acrobat in this.
Yeah.
Theoretically, in this situation,
We're
we're the
human.
acrobat.
Yeah.
And the acrobat can only kind of travel according to its limitations.
Yes.
But if there was a flea
Mm-hmm.
could travel all sorts of ways. It could jump off the rope. It could go under the rope. It could go sideways. It could even go, and then the kids are like, upside down. And
Yes.
he's like, yeah, totally, upside down.
Yeah, because he obviously doesn't know the reference to the D&D board.
No, but the kids are like wide eyes looking at each other like, oh, okay.
11 knew.
11 is
Onto something.
onto something. She gets it. There's other dimensions. And then he explains like you would need a really powerful like force. Like you would need
Energy.
a ton of energy
He says a massive amount of energy.
to create like a rift.
Yeah, I think he says like tear in time and space
Wow.
to create a doorway.
Okay.
And at this point, I literally paused the episode because I was like, it's the generator, like the energy generator, like that it's attached to. I was like, I was right. So I was feeling really good about myself there.
Way to go, Dan.
Thank you. But yeah, so and then he like kind of shows us with this like paper plates and
Yeah.
pencil. He's like, and the energy doing a tear, and he kind of pushes it through the
Like
paper
stabs
plates.
through the plate, basically.
Yeah, which then like creates a transition for them explaining this to 11 about like what they just learned.
Yeah, from Mr. Clarke.
Correct.
After Will's funeral. They're like sitting around eating like snacks, and they're like, so we need to ask you
We have a
about
couple
other
questions.
dimensions.
Yeah.
Then we skip ahead a little bit. We talked about police and the hop and yada yada. Okay, then the kids are talking about their compasses.
So many compasses.
I don't know why do these kids have so many compasses?
He's like, grab your compasses. I'm like, what is there going to be 2? They're like, no, there's like 8.
These kids have been like fitted out with wilderness kits for the last like 6 Christmases, I guess.
Yes, and as soon as they brought out the compass, I was like, that's so smart, because something that they mentioned before is that it can manipulate like a magnetic pole. And so when they bring out the compasses, you're like, of course, if they use these, it should lead them if it's
Yes.
stronger than
The
our
compasses
worlds.
are going to lead us to whatever the strong magnetic field is.
Yes.
That is messing with time and space. They get out their compasses. They all start following them, basically. And 11 is like
hesitant.
scared.
Yes.
She doesn't seem to like that idea.
I'll also say too that in the D&D book, when they talk about
Oh, the Veil of Shadows?
the Veil of Shadows, it looks like a forest with like a really clear walkway in the middle. So then when they shift over to them being on the train tracks, I'm like, this looks exactly like the photo.
They're in the Veil of Shadows.
Yeah, it's like they're on their
Interesting.
way to.
Yes.
And
okay.
yeah, 11 is really hesitant, not really wanting to go. In fact, at one point she's like, Mike, I'm tired. Can we go back? She's like, no, we're almost there. Like, you can just push through. But then what we sort of learn is that 11, we get this flashback about 11 being in her bedroom and with Papa. And he's like, we're going to do the bath today. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Which essentially means she gets put in this tank, water tank,
Yeah.
to sort of say, like, in any condition, can you still do your job? That's how it felt like to me. Is that correct?
No.
Great. Because to me, I'm like, what does the water have to do with it?
Yeah.
And maybe that got explained. I should also mention that I took off the subtitles.
Okay.
And I actually, this is embarrassing, I found it harder to hear.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, those are going back on
Back
for episode
on.
6. But yeah, so she gets like put into this pool with like the things like monitoring
Yeah.
her brain.
Yes.
They also put on
It looks like an astronaut like helmet.
yeah, to like
But
sort
I
of
think
block
it's just
the
like
water.
an air tank for her head. That's
Yeah.
really a stupid way of saying that.
But
I
that's
don't know
exactly
what
what it is.
She's she can breathe basically.
Yeah, and they show her a photo of what looks like a person from a long time ago.
Yeah.
German, Russian,
Russian.
and he's like, listen in on him essentially.
Yeah.
And so then she goes underwater and she gets like dragged into this black
Okay.
pit.
Oh my gosh.
And this guy's there standing, talking. He can't see her. He doesn't know her.
Yeah.
They're showing us that no one knows that 11's there. Like,
Yeah.
this guy doesn't know, but you don't see anything else. You don't know who he's talking to, but you hear what he's saying.
Yeah.
And then what he's saying gets put again through the speakers, which again is like tying back to the phones that they're listening to everybody in and all
Yeah.
that stuff. She sort of gets like, she hears something, right? I just remember her starting to like run away in like fear, and then it like snaps her like tapping on the glass like, let me out, let me out, let me out.
Yeah, I think she hears.
The Demigorgon.
Yes, I actually think it is.
It's the grumbly sounds I was
The
talking about.
grumbly sounds, and she gets like scared basically. And yeah, they like pull her out of the tank. I don't think I should totally explain what's going on with the tank, but there is something happening with it, and it's will be revealed.
Yeah, okay, great. So then flashes her back to the train tracks, and she is like, you can really see like the fear and the anxiety set in.
Yeah.
Which then we learn she's like, I'm gonna change the course of this whole thing. We're getting way too close. Bad news bears.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And the kids, like, they've put it together somehow that they're like going in circles. And they look back at 11 and she's like wiping her nose.
Yeah.
And Lucas is like, she's messing with us.
Yes.
She's changing. She's like leading us on this goose chase with our compasses.
And we get to see Lucas do some incredible acting in this scene.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
a great little actor.
cow.
All these kids, man. I'm just like, where are these kids coming from? Hey?
I also wrote down earlier that like 11 knows, obviously, because they ask her like, do you know anything about this? She just like shakes her head no, because she's trying to not like intentionally deceive them, but also like trying to protect herself.
Yeah.
And then they get really into just a huge fight. Obviously Mike is trying to stand up for 11.
Yeah.
Lucas is just like, no, dude, like, you aren't using your brain anymore. Like, this girl is intentionally trying to send us in the wrong path.
Yeah.
And they get into this like huge fight.
Yeah, and he's like, why would you do that? And she's like, it's not safe,
is
what she says.
Safe.
Like, she is trying to protect them.
Yeah.
Also, when she says, like, I'm tired, like, I want to go back or whatever, I think it is partially true of just, like, she's drained.
Exhausted.
Like, she has to exert all this effort to be, like, manipulating a magnetic pulse or what? Or no, she's manipulating their compasses, I guess, is what's happening.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, poor 11.
When I think too, in the scene where he's talking about the upside down, like on the board, she's just lying on the couch, like no energy whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so I think you're right when she's like, I am tired. I think she is exhausted, and she's like, it's gonna take a lot out of me if we go there, because I'm gonna have to use so much power
to
save all of us.
She's just tuckered out.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to go back to the lab, does not want the rest of them to go back there.
Yeah.
Doesn't want them to find any sort of way to get to where she's come from.
Well, I think too, like, there might be a little bit of fear for her that this will show them exactly like who she is or what she's capable of or what happened to her, and maybe they won't like her after that. Like, there's just so many levels of like, please do not make me go back there.
Yeah.
Which is just really sad.
Yeah, it's interesting that I think we talked in the second episode maybe that 11 doesn't really see herself as being strange for having powers.
Yes.
She's not
really hiding them.
No, she's not really hiding them. She doesn't really know that they're like anything to be embarrassed of, or that they could be dangerous if people know about them necessarily. And I think at this point it's like she feels different. She feels out of place and feels like maybe that they're kind of using her, or you know, it's like this sort of the same thing is starting to happen with these people as did in the lab and where she came from, which is that like everybody around her is sort of wants to use her powers in some way.
Yes. Even if it hurts her, because it obviously does take a lot out of her to use them.
Yeah.
And I think, again, like during the fighting scene, it does get physical between Lucas and Mike.
Yes.
And then 11 is like screaming, stop, stop, stop. And then she just like yeets our boy Lucas across this like junkyard
sort of, into like the side of a car.
Yeah. And then they obviously run over to him to make sure he's okay.
Yeah.
And then he's like pissed. He's like, I'm out of here. Screw you guys. Which is like really sad. I'm like, the band's breaking up. But
yeah. Lucas is like, maybe she's the monster, I think he says. Aww.
I know. I was like, leave 11 alone.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Well, and then when they sort of like help him up and Lucas leaves, they turn around and talk to 11 and she is gone.
Yeah.
She's outsies.
Yep. Where'd she go? And obviously I'm like, there's 5 seasons, so she has to come back at some point. But you start to wonder, like, how are they going to get back?
To the kids finding 11 again, to 11 being friends with him again, to Lucas trusting her again.
Yeah.
And like my first thought is it has to be Will.
Yeah.
Like Will is the key here because he's the only thing that's connecting them currently.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Nancy. We're back to Nancy.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, so you're talking about like there's like whatever little sparks flying maybe
There's
between
feelings.
these two, which is interesting because Nancy also has a little like reconciliation with Steve in this episode.
Yes.
Sort of.
Yeah, she kind of like puts a pin in it, actually.
Yes, she does. It's actually, yeah, it's a funny scene because she's like got a baseball bat in her garage.
She's practicing her swing to beat up whatever she's going to get to.
And Steve shows up and he's like, apologizes.
Is that for me?
Yeah, exactly. First, he's like, I hope that's not for my head or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, he apologizes. He's like, I was a real dick. Like,
Very genuine.
very genuine. Totally. And he's like, have you heard any news of Barb? Like, do you want to go to a movie?
He's like, maybe we can just be normal. It's giving Heathers.
Yes.
See bad movies.
Totally.
And she's just like, I'm gonna say no.
Yeah.
But like
Maybe later.
Yeah,
I
and
have a
then gives
monster
her
to
like
kill.
the weirdest kiss ever. But then he starts singing old time rock and roll.
Uh-huh.
And he sings it more than once, and I'm like, if I know anything, that song is gonna come back for this guy specifically.
Okay.
Because he like kind of like sings it at her. They do like the rest of their scene, and then he leaves singing it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's the last time we see him, and he's singing that song.
Mm-hmm. And as he's walking away, do you have any thoughts of like, maybe we should just get back together? These
Oh
two.
yeah, 100%.
Okay.
I, as much as I love Jonathan, I don't think that the relationship with him and
Nancy
is equal enough. And I know that these two aren't equal either. Like he
Sure.
definitely has a power dynamic over her, but he feels more secure in that he's like, he just like said, I just want to be normal with you. Like,
Yeah.
let's just be normal.
Yeah.
And Jonathan's like, let's go kill this thing we've never seen before.
We're about to kill a monster from another dimension.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he has like absolutely no idea if it's going to work. So I'm like, he's leading you to death.
Oh, no. But she's
She's
right
game.
there with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even with like the married couple fight that they have in the forest,
Yeah.
she then follows him.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, here we go. Like, I'm just going to
Yes.
keep going with you.
Well, and they have the exact same skin in the game, which is like,
Yes.
there's something out there that's bad. I am the only person who's going to do anything about it
Yeah.
because we're the only two people who know about it
Yeah.
to our knowledge.
It stole your brother. It stole my best friend.
Yeah, like
Let's band together.
we're in this together in the sense
High
that
School
we
Musical.
have to save our friends, our
Yeah.
family, the world, who knows.
in this basketball game. Hit it, Troy. Troy.
It's Troy. Troy Bolton?
Yes.
T for Troy? When
T
did
for
he get
Tro-
such a little...
When we find out Troy Bolton's been homophobic since he's been 8, it's because he really wants to be in theater.
This is a High School Musical podcast.
It's true, yes. Yeah, gotcha. So then they start, by they, I mean Nancy and Jonathan start to go into the forest to like look.
Okay, but before they do that,
Oh,
they got to practice their shooting.
yes. Which, I'm going to be a little honest with you. He's like shooting poorly, and I'm like, Nancy's going to come in and be great at it. She did the thing with the shotgunning of the beer.
Yeah. And you said, too, in that episode, you were like, this is foreshadowing. And I was like, for what? But it was.
She just has like beginner's luck.
She's got a killer aim, it turns out.
Yeah, and I just was like, this is all kind of like a little wanky.
Yeah.
It felt a little wanky, like it kind of felt like Danny and Sandy's like, give it to me, stud, and then
Sure.
like just does it perfectly. I'm like, okay, we get it.
Do you think that you might just not be attracted to women?
You might be onto something.
Because
You're like,
I
hot.
have to be honest. I had a whole different reaction to this.
So then, yes. I think.
Is it warm in here? Where were we? Oh, yeah. They also, in this part, somewhere in between the shotgun practice and the woods, they also have a whole conversation about, like, so do you want kids? And, like, what do you want for your future? Do you remember that?
No.
What?
What was I doing?
I don't know.
I'm like, oh, not these people again.
Maybe not exactly in those words. They're talking about how her parents met. Do you remember
They
this at all?
do, yeah.
Something about, I think it starts with him being like, my dad's an ass.
Right.
And she's like, yeah.
We're the nuclear family. It's
Yeah.
while they're shooting.
Yes, okay, yes. He's like, I hate my dad. My dad's an asshole, whatever. And she's like, well, you know, my parents are just like boring. Like they just got together like
And he's
everybody
like, yeah,
else.
but that's what you're going for right now is to
Yeah,
be boring with your
yeah.
boring boyfriend. And she's like, PQ! Shoots the
Watch
can
out.
perfectly.
It's you next, buddy. Keep that up.
Period.
So then later, now they're in the woods.
Yeah,
It's nighttime. They're
it's
in
nighttime.
the woods and they have their flashlights.
Flashlights. And again, I said whenever there's flashlights, bitch, we're about to get into something crazy.
Something's going to happen.
Sure enough, flashlights are out and they are sort of like looking around. They don't really know what they're looking for,
Yeah.
which I'm like, how will you know? But then they see this deer.
Yes.
They assume that it's been hit by a car.
Yeah. Because it's like wounded.
It's-
like
yeah, it's, like,
bleeding and kind of
bleeding.
like whimpering.
Yeah, its like head is like kind of like animatronically moving. And then so they're like getting close to it.
Budget
which,
for season 1 was they weren't sure about it.
Again,
yet. They were
10
like,
years ago.
we're taking a risk on this show, okay, guys? You can only have a really stupid looking deer.
well, and what was really interesting though for me is that these characters do not have the fear I have because there's this deer, it's still alive, and they're like getting real close to it. And I'm like,
and
why?
they're out in the woods to
At
look
night.
for a monster.
Yes.
Like not just like looking around.
With a bat and a gun and a dream.
What are you talking about, you guys? Oh
That's
my
what
God.
this episode should have been called, a bat, a gun, and a dream.
Okay.
So yeah, so then they're looking at this deer. It then gets yanked into somewhere. It's just like gone.
Just like gets
Yeah.
dragged away because they both kind of like look away from it for a second because Jonathan's gonna shoot it.
Shoot it, yes. Yes, and they take a long time. I'm like, bro, do it. Like they're talking about putting it out of its misery
Yeah.
because they're like animal activists now. And then he just gets yanked, and I wrote, I'd be gone.
Gone.
I would be running for my life. I don't care about her anymore. I don't care about him. I'm out. I'm out. But they're fine. They're kind of like, whoa, that's weird. Where did it
No,
go?
but yes, legit, I would be in the next county. If I was in the fucking woods at night,
Yes.
and this thing gets dragged away by even
Nothing.
if it's a bear,
Gone.
Like, it doesn't matter.
No.
I am out of there.
First of all, I'm not even gonna be in those woods to start.
Well, yeah, let's
But
start
if
there.
if I'm trying to get laid by somebody and I'm in there for whatever reason, first of all, call the police on me. Secondly, as soon as that deer got yanked, I would be out.
Gonzo.
Nothing matters anymore. Only me.
And instead, they're like, let's follow the trail of blood.
So stupid. So then they're doing
Guys,
that,
What are you doing?
and Jonathan like is just looking around.
Mm-hmm.
They like kind of split up.
Is this before or after they have their fight? This is
After.
I think they find the deer after the
They
fight.
do, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Because it's still daytime when they have that fight.
But don't they have more fighting in the woods at night? That's when they're fighting about Steve. Is like in the darkness. I think.
No. During the day.
Really?
Yeah.
The whole part where she's like, you just don't like him because that's in the daytime?
Yep.
Are you sure about that?
Yep.
Okay.
I know you've seen it 6 times, but I think I'm right.
All right. You could be. Oh, you're so right.
I know.
Okay, well, I have more to say about that fight, but we'll back up to it. Okay, wait. So carry on.
Yeah,
They're in the woods.
So
It's dark.
they're in the woods. It's dark, and she finds this like opening in a tree.
Yeah.
And
And
again,
it's like drippy.
it's gooey. It looks. I literally wrote sappy goo tree
Yeah.
portal question mark, and I was right.
You were
it
so
was
right.
a portal. And the crazy thing is, I think she calls for Jonathan. Like, hey,
Yeah.
Jonathan. Like, I think I found something. He's like nowhere to be found. So then she just crawls in this tree.
Yes.
Which I'm like, first of all, you don't even know where that's going. And also, if that's a normal tree, you're going to bonk your head in like 2.2 seconds. But no,
You're
she's
just going inside a tree?
inside of a tree.
And the tree is like, it's not like a giant tree
No.
either. It's like it's as wide around as her body.
Correct. That's why I'm like, where do you think you're going? So then she crawls in and it brings her to the upside down. It seems like it's the upside down. She gets in there and she, again, doesn't seem scared. She's just like inquisitive, looking around. And then we see the gooey slime muscle faceless thing
Yeah.
eating the deer.
Yes.
You don't see the deer, but you like hear that it's eating. You're like, yeah, okay. But then something that we see for the first time, but there is like on the poster of season 1 or just like Stranger Things,
Yeah.
is like the flower face.
Oh, yeah.
We actually get to see it for the first time. It kind of comes towards Nancy and then it cuts.
The no face thing like turns and looks its no face at her.
Yes.
But then its face like opens
up.
into this like 5-petaled flower shape thing with all these teeth inside and like roars at her sort of.
And then it cuts.
And before that, when she's like first climbs through the tree, her flashlight is like going in and out.
Yes, which I was like, the energy surge is like affecting the flashlight.
Yeah. The monster like roars at her, cuts.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back to Jonathan who's like running around
like,
looking
Nancy.
for her, screaming for her.
Finds the bat.
Finds her bat. Yeah, that she's like dropped on the ground. Which, why did you not take that through the tree with you?
Because she's dumb.
If you can fit through.
Yeah, but the
Girl's good with a gun, but she's not always totally thinking things through.
It's true. So then he like grabs the bat. But what's interesting is that the hole in the tree starts to like close over. Like, and then I was like, Nancy is locked in the upside down currently with like, and I wrote a little shocked face. And he just like grabs the thing, like grabs her bat and just starts running off like to find her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, bad news bears.
Oh, God. And that's the end.
That's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
And this episode went by fast.
Yes, I
Like,
agree.
it is. I know like there's a lot of details, but like I just felt like, oh my God, it's over already.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just because I wasn't writing as much. I was just writing the things that like really stood out to me. But yeah, that I was gagged because I did not expect her to be the next person to be sucked into the unknown or the upside down, as it's called.
Oh my gosh. Oh, the only other thing that we didn't talk about, but I think is a big moment, is when Hopper is at Joyce's house and they've finally unscrewed every single fucking light bulb. He's basically like, okay, it's probably fine. And she's like, what's that about? Like, why are you here? And he says, you were right.
I know, which is so huge. I still go back to the kids need to talk to her, but the fact that Hopper is now like, you were 100% right the whole time.
It wasn't Will's body.
Correct. I was like, here we go.
Yes. She has someone on her team finally.
Yeah. Well, and it's growing because obviously
Jonathan's
on the team. Yeah. Hopper's now on the team. And while I'm like, I don't know how that's going to get her closer to Will. Yeah. The fact that she is like re-energized by the fact that she's not alone makes a huge difference.
And that Will's not dead. Like she is right in about the fact that
he's trying to
out
communicate.
there somewhere. He is trying to communicate with her, and other people believe her.
Yeah, I will say too, because remember when you asked me at the beginning of this episode if what I thought about the title.
Yes.
Initially, I thought about 11, and then I was like, well, maybe like Will's the fly. Again, I'm like, I didn't know what that meant.
Totally.
But now when I'm thinking of the metaphor, I'm like, he kind of is a fly because he has gone into the other side.
Yes.
And can move amongst the world without anybody seeing him. Yeah. Because again, like we go back to the way that Barb was in the same pool. Yeah. Obviously in a different dimension. Yes. And I think that she could hear everything that was going on between Nancy and Steve in the bedroom, but they couldn't hear her yelling. Okay. And so he can move around in the world, but somehow he is communicating to his mom. Yeah. Like, even when I think about like, the time in, like from the wall where he was like in the membrane. Yes. I'm like, nobody's been able to do that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. He is like, for some reason, and we don't know what this is.
He's getting powers.
He's able to hide. Yes. And dodge whatever bad things are happening.
Is this connected to his character in D&D? Is he sort of like using the qualities of his D&D character to survive in this upside down world? I'm getting a lot of faces from him right now. Friends don't spoil.
Friends don't spoil, Dan. Can't say.
Okay, great.
Can't say anything.
Lovely.
The only thing I will say is the stuff that you're talking about right now. Yes. We are playing the long game about learning that.
Okay. Yeah. Because there's no way that the 7-year-old is on his own getting through this world
Sure.
and being able to hide from something that's seemingly like finding people left, right, and center. So
Yeah.
it's all coming together. We just like skipped to season 4.
Yeah, exactly. Everything in between may or may not
Whatever.
matter.
Yeah.
Wow.
An incredible episode.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to write down things unless I really was like, okay, I have to, because I just wanted to watch.
Yes.
Yeah, which is amazing.
That
I
is
love
amazing. Yeah. If you have questions or things that you want us to chat about, you can DM us on Instagram, Stranger Things Has Happened Pod. You can also email us, strangerthingshashappenedpod@gmail.com. Thanks to Dustin Wilde for our theme music.
Yes.
Once again.
Yes.
And we'll talk at you next week for chapter 6.
Are you kidding me right now?
I know. Damn, we're almost there.
I can't.
Oh, okay. Thanks for listening, everybody.
All right, bye, folks.
Bye.